So today with this fresh pasta that we've made, I'm gonna make two different types of pasta. I've been looking in the fridge to see what we've got, and I've got some salami, sun-dried tomatoes, a bit of olives, and some feta cheese that I'm gonna mix through in one. And in the other one, I'm gonna do a classic style carbonara dish. Okay, so now that our pasta has dried out, we can start making our sauces and our toppings for our pasta. What I always tend to start with first is some garlic. A quick and easy technique for garlic is cut the base and then crush it with your knife. Then you can pretty much just peel it nice and easily. Okay, so we're gonna finally slice this garlic. It's always up to you how much garlic you want to incorporate into your dishes. I normally do 2 to 3 cloves, but I always make sure that I cook it nice and long and slow on a low heat. So my pan's hot. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil, about 4 tablespoons of oil. And then we're going to put in our garlic. Yeah, you can already hear it sizzling. Again, the technique for this is to make sure that your garlic starts caramelizing, becomes soft, starts to develop new flavors, makes it more nutty. Next, what I'll do is I'll slice my salami. And then this way I have strips. The reason we're going to put this in next is because we want it to be nice and crispy. We want to give it a different level of textures into the dish. Make sure you separate them so that it can get nice and crispy, can be delicate. Now, with fresh pasta, the cooking time is considerably shorter than packet pasta. So it normally takes between 3 to 4 minutes for some fresh pasta to cook. So what I'm going to do is separate these into 2 different piles. This is roughly 1 portion per person, so there's 2 portions here. Make sure you keep stirring the garlic around so that it doesn't burn. It keeps light and fresh. And one of the things I always do is I season from the start. So we want some cracked black pepper in here. We want a little bit of salt. This is not the final seasoning, this is just to start off the flavors. I find that when you toast off the salt and when you toast off the pepper, it starts getting different flavors. It's not just seasoning at the end. It starts to develop some complexities. Okay, so we're gonna just pit these olives. These ones are nice and soft, so just squeeze them and the pit comes out. So we don't have to cut them too much. It can still look a little bit natural and a bit authentic. Make sure when you're doing this, you check for the pits because you don't want someone to just chomp into a pit and hurt themselves or crack a tooth. It's one of the worst things that you can do as a chef is harm someone. Okay, so my water is now boiling rapidly. I'm going to chuck in 1 of the portions of pasta. My garlic is starting to smell really nice and it's starting to get a little bit brown, if you can see this. So that means the salami is the next one to go in. Now you can hear how violent the cook is because I've just turned up the heat to a high heat. All right. So slowly start stirring this. We want this salami to get nice and crispy. I wish you were here to smell all these flavors. All right, next step, we're gonna chuck in some of these olives. Again, this helps develop the flavors in the pasta. You can see that the garlic is becoming this nice, nutty brown color. So this is all adding to the flavors of this dish. I'm gonna come back here and just roughly slice these sun-dried tomatoes, just so that when someone picks this up with their fork, it doesn't necessarily have to be a big bite, or they don't have to use a knife to eat this. So I'm going to throw in these sun-dried tomatoes as well. This is the way I love to cook. Nice, fast meals. Doesn't have to be super complex. So just toss this around. Again, you can see the colors are changing here on the salami. It's starting to get a bit more crispy. And we've been cooking it with these nutty garlic, this semi-sun-dried tomatoes, this olive paste. You can see this is not all just oil anymore. This is starting to be a flavor, a sauce, a dressing. Just check on our pasta as well. We don't want it to be too soft. You can see it's almost there. We're almost ready to go. All right. One of the best things is just to go straight in there. There we go. All right, so we get out that salty water that we've cooked our pasta in. We toss through our pasta in our fry pan with the whole sauce, all the veggies, the salami, the garlic. This smells amazing. All right, so now I know that this needs more seasoning. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna smash it with a bit more pepper, a bit more salt, I'm gonna finish this off, and now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna turn it off the heat. That's done. I'm gonna get this basil here, and we're gonna do a thing called a chiffonade, which means finely slice. All right, so now we're going to add this in while it's off the heat. We can cook the basil through it if we wanted to, but what we really want to do is we want to put a level of freshness in there to combat that salami, the crispy salami. You know, something nice, light, fresh to balance out the salt from the olives and the seasoning that we've put in there. And now, finally, what we're going to do is we're going to crumble some of this lovely feta cheese in there. So here, this is a slightly drier feta cheese, and I like to use this so that I can crumble it through, and then I can toss it without it melting and disappearing. You can still see the textures in there. Look how beautiful that looks. All right, so now here, we're going to toss this around. So we want a little bit of heat just to make that feta cheese melt a little bit, because it adds to that sauce. Now we're going to serve this up. All right, so now we're going to bring our pasta here. Can you see that? Look how delicious that looks. We don't want anything left in this pan. This is all good stuff. The flavors are amazing. I'm gonna add that back in. And at this point, we can just add in a few fresh basil leaves just to finish it off. Make it look nice and pretty. And there you have it.